What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to High School Never Ends, a pop punk dad podcast. I am Wingman Steve.
And I am Chris 183.
Chris, we had a fun time on our little trivia game show last week, and now it's time to continue the Follies.
Did we?
The February Follies.
Yes, it definitely. Nothing. We definitely want to continue the February Follies. I feel much better that we're getting back into this and we're getting away from anything else we may have done last time that we were on air together. Because this episode gets us back into the nonsensical, and not necessarily the subject matter is nonsensical, but just the fact that we're picking things that don't necessarily go together, don't necessarily have any continuity. But I guess the thing that holds them all together is they're all things we kind of like or stuff that we really wanted to talk about.
And they're fun. They're fun. That's why we called it February Folly. So yeah, there's a little bit of a method behind the madness. So today we're going to be talking about a movie, right? We did Movie May last year. We talked about a whole bunch of movies that were all related to music. We're going to do a movie that's silly because it's February Folly, and it's called Not Another Teen Movie, and it's basically a parody of a bunch of teen movies. And I'm pretty sure we all like this movie. I guess we'll get into those details. But the movie also does have a lot of music that is kind of in our wheelhouse involved in it. But before we get ahead of ourselves, Chris, we have a guest. We have a special guest, might I say. You want to introduce him?
I'd like to give the listeners, the longtime listeners of High School Never Ends, take a second and think for a second. Who do you think that we would need for an episode like this? Because as we all know, Wingman Steve, when we talk about movies, there's really only one special guest of the show that makes sense. Right?
His first name is Movie. So yeah.
His first name is Movie. His last name is Steve. Movie Steve, welcome back to the show. What is going on?
Hello. Yes, that is my Christian name, Movie Steve. Movie is my first name. It's on my social security number, or card, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
Very good.
Yeah.
I bet you get some looks when you go to the airport, TSA pre-check. They're like, what? Who are you?
Well, thank God I like movies, because what if I was like really into like opera? They would be very confused by that first name.
They'd be like, hey, you like movies, right? And you're like, no, fuck no. I like only TV. I hate movies. Like, why did your parents name you that?
In the long line of Steves, are you related to Restaurant Steve and or Library Steve?
They're distant relatives. A Museum Steve is a close one.
And Wingman Steve, I'll be a cousin.
Oh, there you go. That works.
That's actually really interesting. So there could be a connection there that I'm not even aware of. But no, for those of you out there that guessed correctly, good for you. We did bring Movie Steve back to talk about this movie that we're gonna talk about today. And Wingman Steve, why don't you tell them all about it?
Absolutely. You know, and we brought Movie Steve here, even though he wears glasses, he's got a ponytail, and he wears paint-covered overalls. When you take off the glasses, the ponytail, and the paint-covered overalls, he is quite handsome. Just like the main character, Janie Briggs, in Not Another Teen Movie. So, all right, where do we start? This movie came out in 2001, so it is over 20 years old. That makes me feel really, really old. Technically, it came out December 14th in 2001. It was directed by Joel Gallen. I don't know too much of his stuff. It was put out on Columbia Pictures. It runs a cool 89 minutes long. It had a budget of $15 million, and it made over $66.5 million at the box office. So it was fairly successful. But I think if I go back in my brain to how we start these movie episodes, we have to ask our guest to give a quick synopsis, run down the entire movie really quick for anybody who maybe has never seen it.
So basically, it is a parody movie in the vein of Airplane, Naked Gun, Scary Movie. There's a bunch of different ones, but this one basically takes the archetype of She's All That, combines it with Varsity Blues and a bunch of other 80s teen movies, and spoofs the hell out of them and makes them extremely raunchy. It's a 2001 raunchy sex comedy rolled into a parody film, basically. So they try to get away with as much as possible. To the point where like I actually watched it and thought like, am I watching the non-rated version or the R-rated version? Because some of the stuff they're doing in this movie seems like it would not fly under MPAA, especially nowadays. But yeah, it's and it basically is just a laugh ride. It's a bunch of different set pieces all built together based on those premises, and then it's like kind of like a rom-com ish thing. Would you say, guys? I mean, close
Sure,
enough.
I
It
would
does a
buy
good
into
job. I
that.
think that pretty much goes through the long and short of what this is. I think it's really interesting to think about that era. And one of the things that I was going to ask the room here is, did this come out after all of the scary movie movies had come out, or maybe like after a couple of them had already come out?
I
Was
think
this post?
it was definitely after the first one. I'm looking right now actually because I'm on there. Scary Movie came out in 2000, so this was the year after.
Just 1 year after. So I thought, because here's my recollection, and again, we're talking about over 20 years ago, but I feel like I wasn't really up for seeing this back then. And I did not watch this movie in the theater when it came out because I was a big fan of several of the teen movies that were out during that period of time. And I really wasn't so interested in seeing a stupid spoof of them. I wanted to keep them because they were comedies in their own right. So to spoof a comedy didn't make sense to me, and it felt like it wasn't going to be that funny. So I stayed away from it. Was I right or wrong? I guess we're going to find out today. But that was how I felt about this movie back then. So did you guys feel similar or different? Is this something you really wanted to see?
So I don't remember if I saw it in the theater or not, but I know that pretty much right away when it was on, like I have a large DVD collection. I like used to collect them, and if I never sold any of them for cash while I was in college, it would probably be double what it is now. But I remember like basically buying this DVD and watching it like all the time. It was just one of those movies that you could like put on that was funny and silly and stupid that you didn't like have to pay too close attention to, but like if a new friend or a new girlfriend or somebody comes over and you like want to make them laugh and maybe it's something that they hadn't seen, like I would put this on. So I think that I've probably seen this movie like 100 times at this point, but I don't remember if I saw it in the theater, maybe right after it came out on DVD, or maybe I did see it in the theater. I just don't remember.
I think I saw it in the theater the first time when it came out. I think I went with friends. I don't remember who. It was so long ago. But then years and years of seeing it on television on cable. I must have been watching it on the edited version. Like I know I watched it on FX at least a couple times, and it's FX, and they get away with some stuff, but they ain't getting away with everything.
They can't show areola.
Definitely not. I remember when they did it, it was like it was all blurred. Like she was blurred,
Okay.
so she looked like a big blur. But I just had forgotten how raunchy the movie really is. And after this latest rewatch, because I hadn't watched it in years, I was kind of surprised how much they got away with. But yeah, no, I mean, I remember liking it when it came out because I remember liking Scary Movie when it came out. I thought it was really, really funny. And I like spoof movies. I've always loved them, especially like Naked Gun. I watched that movie a billion times, and Airplane, and even I don't know if you guys ever saw, there's an old Val Kilmer movie called Top Secret, which is basically a parody movie of not World War II movies. And it's really, really funny. It's like one of Val Kilmer's first movies. This is in that same vein. And if you like it, I think the thing with this movie is if you don't like these kinds of movies or you don't see enough of them, you don't get this movie because you don't get all the references that it's going after. So some stuff kind of seems like it comes out of nowhere. But if you like are brushed up on your teen movie stuff, you know everything. You get all the jokes. It's kind of like an in joke for people that are into teen movies or into that kind of movie.
But didn't those the spoof movies you're referencing, like Naked Gun, even Scary Movie, they're spoofing a serious drama or a horror movie. This is spoofing, I guess it's spoofing romantic comedies to a certain degree, but it's also spoofing like these teen comedies that were comedies. So if I had friends that would come over, why am I putting on a spoof of why wouldn't I just put on American Pie 2? Why wouldn't I just put on Road Trip? Like, why? Like, to me, like, it just didn't make sense. And That's why I was so against it. I guess. I don't know. I don't know. And I honestly wasn't a big fan of Scary Movie either. I don't know why. Like I was just such I don't know, maybe I was a drag. I didn't like funny things. I just liked specific funny things. But I do remember that movie, Steve. I don't remember getting an invite to go see this. So maybe you ruined it for me. I could have liked this movie, but that's on you.
I have no idea who I saw this movie with. I couldn't tell you. I don't remember. I might have been working at the movie theater at some point. No, wait, no, this was past then. I was already past that time. So I don't know. I really don't know.
I think the thing is, by the time this movie had come out, we were in our teens or late teens or early whatever it was, and so the main movies that this movie is spoofing, parodying, we grew up with them, right? American Pie, She's All That, Varsity Blues, Cruel Intentions. Like we grew up watching those, and some people might love them, some people might hate them, but I think that this movie does a really good job of pointing out the silliness of this whole thing. They, even if you look at the cover of the movie, they put these people under, they call them different things, right? Janie is the pretty ugly girl or the unique rebel. Jake Weiler's the popular jock, and Priscilla's the nasty cheerleader. Then we have a cocky blonde guy, the cruel girl, the token black guy. I feel like they let us make fun of these movies, whether you like them or dislike them. And of course, we were like beaten to death with like the Dawson's Creek and whatever else you watched back then. I don't know what people like, Party of Five or something like that. But I think this was a nice outlet to kind of just poke fun at that a little bit.
I suppose. I'd really like to maybe talk through. I don't know if this is something we can get into now, but I know you started to give the references, but I'd like to actually go through and talk about the different references that we saw and how they tie into the movies. So I think we should take some time and do that now. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I wrote down a bunch of the ones that stood out to me.
I don't know, we're jumping around. We could talk about characters here in a second, but here's what I like. And maybe we could just tie the character conversation directly into this conversation, but I think that, so do we all agree that you start the movie off and it's just a direct spoof or rip of American Pie? Is that what we're looking at there? Like
Yeah.
it's just a different version of that.
That's a hell of an opening scene to a movie, by the way. And some really clever things happening in the background. My favorite is when a little kid is in there and he goes, "It smells in here."
I didn't hear that, so I must have missed that little detail, but that's interesting.
Well, what's funny is when I started this movie, my wife wanted to watch it with me, and she's like, "Just start without me. I'm gonna go get something in the kitchen, and then I'll come in." So she missed that whole opening. So I'm like cracking up, and then she comes in, and it's the very end of that scene, and I was like, "Oh man, did you miss out?"
You rewind it?
No, she's like, "I don't care." She didn't care. So, but
Yeah,
I mean, it is a spoof of American Pie, but in that part, it's what's funny is that it also in a way references She's All That, because she's like
She's watching She's All That while
she's masturbating to watching She's All That, but they couldn't get the rights to She's All That, so they reshot that scene and then with other actors and then put it in like a fuzziness, so you couldn't tell it wasn't it.
What do we think about Randy Quaid as the dad? Like, do you like that? Is it too over the top, like overall?
I think he's just kind of recreating his like National Lampoon's character, and taking it to the next level. He's, the PTSD alcoholic dad.
Well, it's a little bit of a takeoff of the dad from Pretty in Pink, because he's kind of like a deadbeat dad, kind of in Pretty in Pink. Okay. And then I guess I didn't realize this because I only saw this movie once, but there was a movie that came out called The Wildlife. That's the rights to it got messed up because there's a Van Halen song in it. But Randy Quaid plays a drunk dad in it who was a Vietnam vet, and it's like a direct lift of that character, almost like but parodied. So
what's the reference to the fact that they're so poor? Is that a She's All That reference, or where does that come from? Because they made it a point.
That with Pretty in Pink, because in Pretty in Pink, she even mentions it in that part where they sing the song where she's like, "I'm so poor, I have to make my own dress," and that's what they had to do in Pretty in Pink. So it's kind of like she's the poor girl and they're the rich guys. It's that dynamic as well. Not just the She's All That thing.
What do you think about, so then we go to John Hughes High School. You get it?
Yeah.
Get
John
it.
Hughes.
There's several of those references in there if you caught them.
What are some other ones?
Anthony Michael Hall Cafeteria.
I
Okay.
didn't see that one.
And then the name of the stadium is what's the name of the stadium? I'm drawing a blank on it now. It was
I
one of
didn't
the
write it down. Yeah.
the stadium is named after a John Hughes thing too, but I can now I'm drawing a blank on it.
You know what else I think you missed was there was a section in the library called Weird Science.
Oh, I did miss that.
Yes.
That's good.
It was way in the background. I actually read that and I went back and I saw it and it was there. So Chris Evans, so the future Captain America in this movie.
It's first movie.
Mm-hmm. Do we think he did a good job or do we think he had a long way to go?
I think he nailed the popular jock. I think he did a good job. I think it's fun. His hair looks a little too dark, like he dyed his hair for this. Maybe it's just because we know him, from later movies. But I thought he did good. I think his acting was good. He probably had to be a little over the top, but for his first movie, he did fantastic.
Well, I think he's trying to be Freddie Prinze. I think that's why they made his hair that dark. But then it's also that he's supposed to be that plus the James Vanderbeek guy, and that just those two combined. Is that basically what he's supposed to be?
Pretty much. And he has the late 90s, early 2000s sideburns, which I just think is so ridiculous. I can't believe I had those.
I had those too.
It was so bad. I don't know why we thought that was a good idea, but he had them, and that was just it. The best friend. So the best friend parody, I think, is great because there's so many different ways. There's so much dynamic to this one because he's the best friend, but it's not like it's a secret. It's like the joke of it is, right, that he just openly tells her all the time how he feels every chance he gets.
But she doesn't hear it.
She's like oblivious to it, except for, and I'll skip ahead to this. There's even a confession scene in the form of a poem, which there's recognition by her, but it leads to nothing. Like she just completely just forgets about it.
Well, that's a 10 Things I Hate About You reference.
Is it?
Yeah. That's the part. Yeah, that's that part of the movie. You never saw that movie where
No, I didn't see it.
She says the poem and she starts breaking down. She cries in class. It's the same.
The toilet didn't fall from the ceiling in that movie?
No.
And 10 Things I Hate About You had the same type of bet that She's All That had. So, I mean, those two are kind of tied together.
Well, it's not the bet. There's the brother can't have sex until the daughter does. Or
doesn't he pay Heath Ledger to take her out or something? He's paid. Heath Ledger is paid to take out.
Correct. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Okay. It's not a bet exactly, but there's some deceit behind the relationship.
Correct. Yeah. And the brother-sister relationship is similar to the sister-sister relationship in 10 Things I Hate About You because they can't date. In that movie, they can't date unless the older sister dates. And basically, in this movie, they make it he can't get laid until his sister gets laid, which is freaking weird. But anyway.
That's very weird.
That's just kind of one funny throwaway line, though. They didn't pull that throughout the movie. Like that was just...
No. Well, no. Yeah, no, a couple times because he's just desperately trying to get laid. So he's trying to get her to get laid. That's kind of, they said it a couple times, I think.
Really? I thought it was just that one time when they're in the car because he's just trying to get laid because then that transitions him into he's the American, he's part of the American Pie trio.
Yeah. The American Pie pack.
Mix in a little bit with the, what is it? The, Can't Hardly Wait, rapper guy. Because remember, it looks like the,
that's right.
He has like the box haircut.
Is that what that haircut's all about? Because I wrote that down. Like, what is that haircut? Why does he have that? Is that just that?
I assumed it was that.
So we're talking about Mitch Briggs. This is the lead's little brother,
the desperate virgin, and that the things he sees through the hallway, like that doesn't actually happen in high school. At least I don't think so. Maybe somewhere else it does. But one of the things that I'll bring up is one of his friends. So he has two friends. And I don't know their names. I can't remember. One of them is Ox because they're making fun of Oz from American Pie.
Well, that's what I mean. So that kid, is that who that's supposed to be? Is Chris Klein? Is that like if it's not supposed to be him, then I don't know who else. But the one thing about that guy or that kid, he nails it like almost 1,000% spot on. He's perfect.
Yeah.
Like he does the best Chris Klein
The
impression.
sensitive guy friend, except he's so much skinnier than like Chris Klein is like built, right? And this guy is like so skinny, and it looks like his hair is just like wilted down on his face.
And then who's the other friend supposed to be a parody of? Anything in particular?
No, he's just supposed to be like a bad Asian stereotype.
He's a wannabe.
Wannabe. Okay. So maybe again, like Can't Hardly Wait and Seth Green, similar to that.
His name is Bruce, by the way.
Bruce. Okay.
So let's make it even
Bruce
more.
Lee?
Yeah.
I know at one point he goes, "Shut your hole, Wang Chung."
So this Amanda Becker, we see Amanda Becker. This is another funny thing about the movie I'll bring up is that there are so many entrances during this period of time in the movie down the hallway. Like there's probably like 3 or 4 of them here. And Amanda Becker's one of them. And what is the deal here? Like she gets that REO Speedwagon song. Is that supposed to be what's her name from
Yeah, that's Jennifer Love Hewitt.
Jennifer Love Hewitt from is that Can't Hardly Wait, or is that a different movie?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Well,
so that's all.
Well, I watched the deleted scenes, and in the deleted scenes, there is a scene they cut out where he's trying to give her that letter, just like in Can Hardly Wait. And there's like a line of guys all trying to do the same exact thing, and it's like a line that stretches all the way around the corridor, and you have to take a number to give her your letter. So they cut that out. But you don't remember in Can't Hardly Wait when she, like, every time Ethan Embry sees her, it's like everything stops and the song plays. It's not an REO Speedwagon song, but it's another song. And like basically he's just like overwhelmed.
I did not watch any of these movies. Like I don't know what was I must have had a lot of say in whatever relationship I had at that point in time in my life, because I would not watch Can Hardly Wait. I would not watch 10 Things I Hate About You. I would not watch any of that. Like I did not want that.
You're missing out.
None of that.
You're missing out. Those movies are good.
Did I
Yes.
miss out?
10 Things I Hate About You is a great movie. I love that movie.
I wanted other, like, I just didn't want that in my life. And I stayed away from that. So maybe that's why I'm not getting the majority of things, but one movie I did want and that I watched 1,000 times and movie, Steve, you know which movie this is.
Yeah.
And which movie is that?
American Pie.
Cruel Intentions.
Oh, Cruel Intentions. Yeah.
I watched that movie 1,000,000 times and there's so many great references in this. And it starts with what? Catherine? Is that her name in this movie?
Yep. Yeah.
She has the cross. She's the sister, even though they bring it to another level and that she's actually his sister. And she says some really, really terrible things.
You're my sister only by blood. Good lines. Good lines.
Do you notice, by the way, before we continue on, and hopefully we can continue this because I think this is fun. We don't have to go through everything scene by scene, but we'll jump around. But a lot of these actors and actresses in this movie, like, you don't necessarily know who they are. There's not a high percentage of individuals from this movie that really went on to do anything huge outside of Chris Evans and maybe Jamie Presley, like, you know, her name outside of this movie. But like, did you notice that?
Actually, there is one in rewatching this, and I rewatched it like a year ago, maybe just for fun. I realized that in the very beginning of the movie, not the first scene, but when everyone is being introduced, the guy who's doing the introductions is Ted Mosby from How I Met Your Mother.
Yeah, I noticed that too.
He takes he's got maybe 3 or 4 small scenes. He's in a party scene too when everybody slows down for Amanda Becker and they can't drink. But seeing Ted Mosby, that was neat. And then how great is Jamie Presley in terms of, like, she is perfect for this role. To me, she was like the perfect, like, actress. She was like the most beautiful. She's basically like is Margot Robbie like 25 years ago, right?
Yeah. I always thought they looked very similar.
Just a little trashier. A little bit. I
know, but I mean, not in a bad way, but she owned it a little bit, you know? She was on My Name is Earl. She was here. She was, you know, the whatever you call it, nasty cheerleader. Actually, they don't make her off to be too slutty. They make her to be a little bit more stupid and superficial. Yeah. And I don't think Mean Girls had come out yet, so I don't think this is officially a parody of Mean Girls, but it does fit a little bit where she's got the 3 girls behind them and the 2 girls.
Really?
Well, speaking of Mean Girls, you guys are missing like somebody in this movie who went on to do many bigger and better things. The girl that plays Amanda Becker is Lacey Chabray or whatever, who's in like every Hallmark movie. and she's the girl that's in Mean Girls. She was on Party of Five. She was a little girl, and then she grew up. Do you remember this? Which is funny because she's on Party of Five as the little girl, and what's her face was in that show. The girl that played Amanda Becker. What's her name?
Jennifer Love Hewitt.
Thank you, Jennifer Love Hewitt. So you don't know her, I assume. Chris, I'm surprised you don't know this because like your wife watches every Hallmark movie ever made. Christmas movie.
I don't watch them with her.
That girl's in every movie. She's in every one of them.
I run the other direction when they come on the TV. So no.
And then also you're missing out. The guy that plays his buddy, you know who that guy is, right? He's one of the German guys from Beer Fest.
Oh, yeah. Eric Christian Olsen.
Which one?
The cocky blonde guy.
the guy that's like
right.
The Paul Walker guy.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, look, I mean, I don't mean like they weren't in other things. Like I think one of them was in ER or something like that. One of them was in NCIS Los Angeles. I don't know, like stuff like that. But nothing like huge, right? Nothing like a household name or anybody that has really come, and maybe the guy from How I Met Your Mother, because it's a big show. I'm not even sure I know who that is because I didn't watch that show. But outside of Chris Evans, yeah, it seems like, and Jamie Presley, that one that the average person on the street could probably, pick out of a lineup. So
I guess so.
Unless you're really into the things that they just talked about.
Well, you're forgetting Mr. T. I mean, everyone knows who he is.
Who was that coach, by the way? Who's the coach? Is that a guy?
That guy is hilarious. Just spitting and screaming, God damn it, over and over and over. I don't know who he was.
He's been in a million things. He's one of that guys. He's been in everything.
So I had here that they spoofed Cruel Intentions several times throughout the movie. And I put Mean Girls. I guess I'm wrong. I thought that what were they spoofing then? Bring It On? Was that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Bring it on.
Bring It On. Okay. So it's kind of like this part of the movie is really funny because not only were there so many intros, but this part of the movie, there was so many rapid fire references one after another. It was really cool the way that they wrote that. So definitely, I think a high point in the movie right here because they also then went from Cruel Intentions to Mean Girls, then to Donnie Darko. And that was like a real big spoof, right?
Wait,
with
Donnie Darko?
Darko.
That's American Beauty, dude.
Oh, that's not Donnie Darko?
Oh, no.
With the guy? With the
bag?
The bag and the...
In American Beauty, he like videotapes the plastic bag, and his whole thing is like that's the most beautiful thing he's ever seen.
Well, then I'm conflating the two movies. Then it's basically the same movie. Who cares, right?
I thought the American Beauty reference was a little bit there. I thought there was a couple that seemed like a little bit forced, maybe not totally necessary. Like the American Beauty one, like it was okay, but again, when a lot of these movies they parodied, like they do continue. They go back and forth throughout the movie to them a few times. That one, not that much. It's just, hey, let's put the guy with the video camera in the bag. And then I thought the Never Been Kissed stuff was a little bit forced. They just threw in the old lady going to school, and then eventually she makes out with the Cruel Intentions scene, which was.
Well, I've never saw Never Been Kissed. What does that play a factor into?
That's the one with Drew Barrymore where she goes back to high school. She's a reporter who goes back to high school. And the whole thing is she's never been kissed by a boy.
I know that one, yeah, but I didn't watch it, but I know what you're talking about. So that's what that lady is supposed to represent?
Yeah, they're making fun of it because, hey, I'm here in high school, but she's obviously like 60. 60,
yeah. But are you sure there wasn't a plastic bag in Donnie Darko? I'm pretty sure there was a plastic bag in that movie too.
No, you're wrong.
Maybe we should look. I should probably watch it because I think that there was. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure there was a plastic bag in Donnie Darko.
The scene where the old lady makes out with Catherine, my wife got ill because of the spittle that is between the two of them, and then that little click of her denture at the very end that just goes and pops back into her teeth.
I didn't notice that, and I'm so glad I did not notice that. Is that woman in like all kinds of other movies? By the way, like she looks familiar, but she's not.
I
have her name, but I don't know her. Doesn't she look like she was in stuff though? Like I remember seeing her in things. She just has that face, I guess, but she played it well. Is that, by the way, is that the guy? So kind of shifting gears to the football players, is the guy that plays Billy Bob or whatever is that the same guy from Varsity Blues?
Yes.
I thought it was the same actor.
He's lost a lot of weight though now. He's a skinny guy.
The
Well,
tan,
skinnier.
he's a tan. Yeah, I knew
Yeah,
that was the
tan.
same guy. Okay.
Yeah, same guy.
Yeah, really cool there. And then you already talked about Areola. Was that supposed to be that was a play on Shannon Elizabeth, right? Like
Yeah,
from
that's
American
Nadia.
Pie.
Yeah, it's not.
Nadia. You know, I read a little bit about that actress, and she was like on the fence about doing that. She went on to like have other roles and do other things in Hollywood. So
Yeah,
it wasn't like
she
that was the end for her. But
she was a Power Ranger.
she was a
Did you
Power
see that?
Ranger
Wow.
before that. Yes. Right? Or no, after.
No, it was after.
There's a Power Ranger after?
Yes.
How?
Well, because I assume that people didn't remember from this movie, or they didn't recognize that it was her. I don't
Haim
know.
Saban doesn't care. He's like, whatever, man. You know,
Yeah.
it is what it is.
Yeah.
That Haim Saban. Mhm.
But it wasn't the original Power Rangers. It was like another series down the road. It wasn't
Like
like the first Power Rangers.
Turbo Dinosaur Force or something.
Something like that, probably. Yeah.
I thought it was funny though. I thought it was funny. I mean, yeah, it played its part, and you know, it was funny where they had the subtitles, and the subtitles moved out of the way so you wouldn't mask the nudity of the scene. So,
Well, I like the musical part where the bird lands on her on her areola. And the funny thing is that's the name of that bird is a tit. That's
Is it
another.
really?
Yes, yeah.
and I wasn't expecting that in this movie. Like I was expecting maybe a little bit, but it does smack you across the face with definitely a lot of nudity. And I don't know why. Like you think about raunchy teen comedies, and they're all over that, but I don't know. For some reason, I didn't think that was going to be a part of this, but it definitely was. So
Yeah, it's rated R.
I mean,
Go ahead.
well, the 80s, you got to remember those 80s teen movies, they were just a lot of them were exploitation, like just reasons for TNA. I mean, they're just for no reason other than just to get guys to go see those movies back in the day, you know, pre-internet, anything. If you want to go to the movie, if you want to see boobs, you had to go to the movies. Like Revenge, even like harkening back to like a Revenge of the Nerds or like a Fast Times at Ridgemont High, like stuff like that, where it's just nudity for nudity's sake. That had no other reason to be in the movie other than just boobs in the movie.
Was that a Porky's reference with the locker room and all that stuff?
Yes,
Porky's or Revenge of the Nerds?
that was a Porky's reference.
And do you guys think that bathroom humor is still funny? Like, do you think that's something that people always come back for?
I think the scene went a little too far. It made it kind of gross. I think some bathroom humor is funny, like when they were crawling through the ceiling and then they see her like farting and stuff. Like, okay, that's kind of funny, but at the end when the poop ends up like in front of the
Like gallons of it,
gallons of poop all over the classroom. At that point, it's like, but I guess they're trying to kind of go for that gag shock factor. That's what they want.
Yeah, I think so.
I've been monopolizing a lot of the time. What are some things that you guys, based on everything else that we haven't talked about yet in the movie? And there's a lot of this movie that we haven't gotten to yet or talked about. So I'll open up the mic for you guys.
Well, the thing is, there's not so there is a plot to the movie, but I feel like the plot to the movie is basically the plot of she's all that, and it just mixes in all these other random things. And I think actually they do a pretty good job. I think Rotten Tomatoes, it's got like a 4 point something out of 10. Like it doesn't have very good ratings. But I think that they do a pretty good job. In the beginning, they introduce you all the characters, kind of that, around the cafeteria, they introduce you to everybody kind of thing. They go through a bunch of movies. Like they really do a good job parodying and having characters kind of shift in between some different ones. It's funny, the one movie that I have never seen, which maybe you guys would be surprised, is the sports movie. I've never actually seen Rudy. So that's the only thing that I think I didn't really, I knew what it was, but I hadn't seen the source material. But I think, they did a really good job. Varsity Blue stuff was fun.
Where's the Rudy reference at?
Mr. T.
Well, Rudy is
Mr. T.
The reason why he's not Jake isn't the quarterback anymore is because he threw the ball to the Rudy type character. I think his name was Rudy. I forget if it was
Marty.
No, well,
Marty.
I took that as,
and he gets smashed in half.
I took that as a Lucas reference. There's this old movie called Lucas. It's an 80s teen drama starring Corey Haim, who he plays this like little like nerdy guy, and he wants to be popular and he wants to date the one girl. So he joins the football team. And in that movie, at the very end of the movie, he's in the big game and he catches the ball and he gets annihilated. And like they have to take him off in a stretcher, and then at the end of the movie, you find out that they won the game. After, when he came
Spoiler
back.
alert, movie Steve. Come on, man.
Yeah, that movie from 1984. that actually has the redheaded girl from Goonies is in it. She's and Charlie Sheen. Charlie Sheen's in it too. It's a good movie.
It could be that. I think I just harkened it back to Rudy because that's the popular.
Well, I got Rudy because in Rudy. Rudy's like best friend is the black janitor played by Charles S. Dutton, and Mr. T is the black janitor who gives him like a word of advice. So that's where I got the Rudy reference from.
Why wouldn't they just get Charles S. Dutton? That's Rock.
He was living living large off those Rock paychecks.
Maybe Rock was still on at that time.
Nah, maybe. No, I don't think so. But anyway, yeah, it's funny too. Like, not only do they reference those movies, they actually bring actual characters in. Like, they brought the principal in from Breakfast Club to reshoot that scene. Like, the set looks the same. Like, they're all dressed like the characters. They brought Melissa Joan Hart in for like just one little like cameo. Molly Ringwald they brought in at the end of the movie, and the reason they brought her in was because the ending wasn't working. So they basically were like, "We're gonna reshoot it, and we're gonna see if she wants to do it." And she said, "Sure, I'll do it," because that's making fun of the stuff that I'm known for. And so she's all through the end of that movie.
I didn't know that's why they brought her in.
So the real ending wasn't working.
No, the real ending is similar to that, and then it ends actually like 16 Candles does, where he's back at her house and they're sitting on like a table, like blowing out birthday candles, and then the table collapses and the house collapses on them. That's how they ended the movie, and it tested really badly. So they went with they added Molly Ringwald in after and reshot it. So.
What Melissa Joan Hart, like, what does that tie into with the slow clap? Like, is that from something?
No, I think she's just in it, like, because she's like a teen. She's been in a bunch of teen movies. I think she's just in it for that reason.
There was a couple goofs that I saw coming a mile away that I'm sure you guys did too. So obviously, I said it at the beginning of the movie when I heard her first name. I knew Janie's Got a Gun was going to play a part somewhere. I didn't know it was going to go down like that, but it went down.
That's another 10 things I hate about you reference.
Mm-hmm.
Is it?
Yeah.
How so?
Because Heath Ledger sings to her in the stands.
Okay, and then the whipped cream gag, of course, which to me was like, okay, come on, guys. Like,
I think it's funny, but then when he leaves the room and he has the banana, that part really made me laugh.
It's funny though because the banana is like. It's like on his waist, like it's supposed to be like sticking out of his butt, but it's definitely not. It's definitely like around his waist or something.
It looks like a tail. It doesn't look like it's in his butt, but it's still funny.
And that was funny because that was an iconic scene from Varsity Blues, where she does the whipped cream bikini. So to have it reversed where he does it, I thought that was pretty good.
Yeah, you don't want to see Captain America with that. It doesn't work. Doesn't work at all. A lot of Sixpence None the Richer in this movie. I don't get the stairs just collapsing other than it's just an old house and they're poor. I think there's something else to that.
I think that's just biting off of they're poor kind of thing. They wanted to do the slow motion walk down the stairs, but it's funny because they're poor. And then Randy Quaid goes, quit farting around down there.
Steve, the Golden God reference.
Yeah. That Almost Famous, which I think they just shoehorned that in.
Yep.
Right when Almost Famous came out, because I think that's like right around that time, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, but like it's almost like they just shoehorned that in just because, like, just that line. That's because that's the only other reference to that is just that one line.
Yeah. But, any other scenes or parts of the movie that stand out to you guys?
The musical number.
Yeah, but before that, I think the Bring It On scene where the Priscilla. Yeah, and the North Compton Wildcats, they confront each other, and she says, "You got to bring it. Oh, it's already been brought in." And then all the white girls go out and they do this cheer. We ain't white. We definitely ain't white. And
oh man, yeah, it's really funny. Yeah,
anything else? So like the musical scene, right?
I like the musical number because it's just so funny how the rhyming. Like I like when they're in the diner and the guy at the diner says, I jerked off in your French toast. But do you know what that's from, right?
Is
The
that
guy from
Road?
Road Trip.
Is that Road? You sure?
Yeah, because he looks just like Horatio Sands in that
I guess
scene.
he does. I guess he does. I feel like that's a reach, but I don't think it is. Like at the same time, I feel like it's not. But if it is, that's genius. Genius. Because I love that scene.
And I love the point where they all are singing and dancing in front of the prom venue, and they like, look at each other because they realize they're dancing, and then they have to they like keep the pose, they hold the pose for like way too long and make it uncomfortable. I think that's a pretty funny thing to do.
And I read that they on purpose didn't bring in more singers on the audio track. They literally just made them all sing, and then so it makes it sound really flat and crappy at the very end. Like instead of like a normal musical number where they like kind of build up and like have like actual background singers, they did not. They just had them just sing horribly their audio. So
And speaking of singing, it seems like we've moved through most of the movie, and the prom scene. We all know who the band is. The house band at the prom is none other than Good Charlotte.
So I got to say that, I'm historically High School Never Ends fans know that I'm historically not a fan of this band at all. Like I almost can't stand them, but I'll tell you what, I like their rendition of If You Leave. I thought they did a great job and I really got into it. And I think they had other songs on this movie too. And I can't say what they are because I don't have the list of them.
They do I Want Candy.
Yeah, not as much of a fan of that. But did they follow up? Is that during the prom too?
Yeah. That's when I think Ted Mosby turns to study. He goes, I never knew that everyone in the school was a professional dancer.
That's right. But I liked If You Leave. I think they did a really cool rendition of that, and I would listen to that again. So good job.
So I have a question: are both Madden brothers in that scene? Because I can only see one in that whole scene.
Yeah, Benji is on guitar. I think he would be was that stage left? Like when you're looking at the screen, he's on the right. He's got the spiky hair.
See, I just couldn't see him. I was like surprised. I thought I was like, wait, did they only get the one Madden brother, but not the other? And I don't know if you saw they hump the principal when he's announcing the prom king and queen. At the end, he humps the principal, which I thought was actually kind of funny.
Oh, Joel Madden. I always love when punk bands have cameos in movies. I thought they did a pretty good job, and his voice did lend itself to those couple of songs.
Definitely. Were there any other cameos that we may have missed in this from, rock bands or rock band members of that time?
I don't think there was any band members, but I mean, there's definitely, we haven't talked about the music yet, but there's definitely a lot of pop punk music and cover songs.
For 1 second, when they did that scene in the principal's office where the guy said, I heard there was a reporter, I thought that was somebody. I thought that guy was somebody because he had the hair. He just looked like he could be. It almost looked like Tom DeLonge for a second.
You know what I was going to say is I think he might have been the guy that's in the scene with Blink-182 in American Pie. The guy's like, that guy's in my physics class or in my math class.
Really?
Yeah, I think it looks just like that guy. I mean, I could be wrong, but it looked like that guy.
Okay, I'll believe that. So, yeah, let's shift over to the music. So, I think overall, you take a look at this, and I don't know if I have the full motion picture soundtrack on Spotify. I know it's leaving out at least one song that for some reason the Saliva song isn't available. I don't know why that is. Saliva does not want you to listen to their music on Spotify. Saliva, if you're out there, let us know why. We want to know. But overall, like the music in this movie, a lot of it are covers, and the ones that even aren't covers, I think it's amazing. I'm a big fan. Like I love this kind of music anyway. I love 80s music. I love covers of bands of that era doing 80s music. I always was a fan of that. I loved it back then, and so I really, really wish I'd have found this soundtrack earlier because I enjoy the majority of these. What do you guys think?
I purchased the soundtrack on compact disc, so I have it. Well, it's burned to my computer now. I don't have the disc anymore, but I loved it. I mean, I think I'm trying to think back listening to the full thing. I don't know if I loved every single song, but I loved the Marilyn Manson Tainted Love, Orgies Blue Monday, the Bizarre Love Triangle by Stabbing Westward.
Yeah.
I think this is this the first time that we heard Goldfinger's 99 Red Balloons?
Was that in Basketball before this? I think so.
Yeah, I didn't. Is that on the?
Was it, Basketball was It was
Beer.
Goldfinger.
Yeah.
Was it a different cover?
I don't remember.
I'm gonna look it up right now because I know it was on there, and everybody's furiously typing.
I'm not typing. I hope one of you guys are. I'll keep
Yeah.
talking. I Melt With You by Mest is it was a really good cover.
Because I typed in basketball and that does not bring up anything.
Basketball. And there are songs like in the movie that are used that are not on the soundtrack. Like I think it's during the football game, where there's this Everclear song called Rockstar, which is like one of my favorite Everclear songs. It wasn't really a single or anything, and you know they have Foo Fighters, My Hero. So there's a lot of good music in this movie.
All right, Chris, from what I can see, it was used in this movie. It was used in Euro Trip. I mean, that's the two that I'm thinking that you were. Maybe Euro Trip.
Man, I'm just thinking the wrong thing. I thought for sure 99 Red Balloons was in something else, not Euro Trip.
Did Euro Trip come out before or after this?
Oh, it had to be after.
That's 2004. So this might have been the debut of Goldfinger's 99 Red Balloons.
All right, I'm doing more research. Keep talking.
Well, it's funny. A lot of the song. It's what's interesting to me about this soundtrack is that it's funny. It's not all pop punk, and it's not exactly all punk either. Like a lot of these bands are just like modern rock bands from 2000s, early 2000s, late 90s. So you got Manson, you got Stabbing Westward, you got the Smashing Pumpkins. I mean, yeah, you got like Good Charlotte, you got Mest in there, but it seems like a lot. It's almost like they were like, okay, we want to make a movie that's going to cater to the youth of America. So let's put some hip rock bands and some of these newer rock bands in there as well. Cause like, I was surprised when you told me you were doing this, and I was like, oh, every song on the soundtrack is going to be all pop punk. Mm-hmm. And then I looked at it and I'm like, well, I knew Marilyn Manson was on it and I thought maybe he was the one outlier, but then I'm like, wow, Stabbing Westward, like, that isn't pop punk at all. Like, you know what I mean? It seems so different compared to what I thought it was. Maybe that's just what I was expecting. I don't know. But I told you guys about this. I sent you guys the YouTube playlist that I found that has like every song from the movie, not just the soundtrack. And it made me remember this compilation that was like popular a long time before the Pop Goes ones, and they were called Before We Were Punk, and it was basically punk bands doing covers of new wave music. And there's two of those in this movie. One of them is Face to Face is doing In Between Days, and then they also do Turning Japanese.
Oh, they do that for a quick second. Yeah, I remember.
And then there's a band called No Motive, and they do the Flock of Seagull song, Space Age Love Song. It's the part where he's running through the airport.
Mm-hmm.
But they used a lot of other stuff in here. So, and I guess according to this Good Charlotte did a Footloose cover, which I didn't catch that. And they also did, where is it? They did I Want Candy. They did Put Your Head on My Shoulder.
Yeah, that's the slow song. I think when after the Prom King and Queen, when the Fratelli sisters win, I think that's the song.
Oh, that's right. Didn't you guys think it was funny that the Foo Fighters actually let them use My Hero in the scene with the football? I was actually kind of surprised. But yeah, it's funny. It's like that System of a Down song is really good. I did not know that song, and I love System of a Down.
I don't think I know that one exactly. I can't think of it off the top of my head.
I can't believe there has to be. No, this is in a movie, not this one. I know it is.
Give it up.
I know it is. No, I know it is.
Give it up.
And that's the end of the show, ladies and gentlemen. Chris has been researching this for an hour and a half.
Well, here's another thing, like Muse. Like Muse is on this soundtrack. Was this before anyone knew who Muse was?
It's before I knew who Muse was.
And then Phantom Planet, which I know they did the theme song for Smallville, but that's the only other thing I knew them from. I knew they were a band, but I didn't know that they were on the soundtrack.
I focused a lot on the pop punk because, again, 2001, that was this Good Charlotte, Mest, Goldfinger. These are the ones that so I kind of skipped. I probably only listened to half of the soundtrack, but I really, really liked the half that I listened to. Chris, have you
Yeah,
found anything else in your research? Are you still down a rabbit hole? Do you want to come back to us?
I'm getting close. I know it was on something, and
Are you sure you're not mixing them up with Real Big Fish?
Because
no,
Real Big
no,
Fish was in basketball.
Yeah.
no. I mean, maybe it was. I know it was on an American. You know what it is? Why I'm not seeing it, because sometimes on Spotify, like they have the tracks for different soundtracks, but they leave songs off of them for some reason.
You got to
I
use
think
the
that's
Google.
what's going on right
Gotta use the
here,
Google.
and I think that's why I'm right about this. So I will chalk this up to yes, I am correct. It definitely was on. I think it was American Pie 1 or 2, and we're gonna stick with that. So you were close, Steve, but no cigar.
Okay. And anything that you guys would have changed about this movie if you were the writer or the director or one of those important people on a movie set? Like, is there anything that you think you would have changed, added, subtracted?
I think it pushes all the right buttons. I mean, one thing that's funny about this movie that I kind of like, it kind of came to me after I watched it is this song is basically the move, or this movie is like basically the movie version of the Bowling for Soup song 1985, because it is about 80s movies, but seen through the lens of late 90s, early 2000s booby comedies. But then if you look at it now, it's almost like a time capsule of this kind of comedy. Like, they do not make movies like this anymore. They make parody movies, but they do not make TNA like really raunchy comedies like this anymore, and they never will. This is not going to happen again. So it's almost like, I almost wonder if you showed this movie to somebody like who's like young now, girl or guy, if they would be like, "Oh my God, this movie's terrible," or if they would be like all on board, like, "This is fucking hilarious. This is like a comedy classic." You know what I mean?
They
It's
would have
kinda-
had to have seen a good portion of the source material, though.
Well, I mean, a lot of the stuff that it references you can pick up just from pop culture. You know what I mean? She's All That's kind of part of pop culture. Varsity Blues is too. I mean, all these teen movies have kind of become part of the pop culture lexicon, like, it's kind of like, almost to the point where other pieces of media have built off of it. I mean, almost like the Stranger Things thing, where like Stranger Things is basically only good because it's everything that those guys loved put into one thing. So it's like Ghostbusters and Stephen King and all this other stuff. The youth culture of today, like, they only see things through a reference that was already a reference that was already a reference. It's kind of interesting.
I do think, though, that a lot of the stuff that's really funny are some of those deep cuts. Like for example, if they didn't know the movie Varsity Blues, there'd be a lot of things that they would potentially miss to a young person, or bring it on, or again, American Beauty, not that big a deal, but The Breakfast Club is from the 80s. So as somebody who's 20 years old now, do they know that movie? I think you probably know all the American Pie. I think American Pie probably is in the pop culture enough. But even like some of the Cruel Intentions, like if a kid didn't see Cruel Intentions, that kiss scene with the slobber is like, what on earth am I watching?
Well, don't you think, like, especially kids today would see some of those movies like American Pie and even Cruel Intentions and think and be like, "Oh, that's so cringy. Oh, that's like so awkward and awful," and like, you know what I mean? It's like terrible. Like, it's almost like they've turned into like curmudgeon old people.
I'm not that
think it's
connected to
cringy.
the youth.
But why? Like, because of the humor, the raunchy, like the raunchiness.
The raunchiness, really.
Did you really think so? You really think they
Well, it's
care
like,
about that?
I mean, if you watch this movie again, it really, really objectifies women a lot. Like,
But
about,
that's the joke, though. That's the parody of it, though. It's not on purpose.
but even like, I mean, they do make fun of it. How like, oh, just when she does the makeover scene and she takes off the glasses and the ponytail, and like, that's but the whole thing where it's like, I mean, there's a woman in this movie that's just naked the whole time, and I know that's part of the joke, but also it's kind of and like the three horny boys, all they think about is women as sex objects, right? So I'm sure there's someone, not even, I'm sure there are critics of this movie that have seen this now, if they caught this on cable, would be like, "Wow, this movie, who the hell is this filmmaker? What were they thinking? Blah, 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 blah." It's, but back in the day, in our day, when we were young like that, that sold movies, that put butts in the seats, that made money. Am I wrong? I mean, it did.
Well,
You
one
know,
thing was wrong. Ox is a sensitive guy, and he would let you. He would take a dump on your chest. He's
He
he's
never
not
leaves.
just about the female.
well, what's funny is you know exactly what you're getting into when you first see the first scene of this movie, right? I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
you know, I mean that's one of the most raunchy scenes in the whole movie. So it's not like they're not telling you right away. This is what this is. If you don't like it, you can leave now.
I
So
think sometimes though, like they bring the joke too far, not too far like in a negative way, but just too far where it's not funny. I get they're trying to be funny with having Dennis Quaid carry around pies the entire time.
I
It's like
totally missed that. I totally missed that for some reason. I don't know why. And then till the part where he was like, it says something about the three-way. But
Yeah, it's like,
I
come
guess
on,
there's a
man.
scene in that movie, the part where they're under the table, like when he gets under the table and he pretends like or he's having that like non-flashback.
Mhm.
And I guess there's little bits of food all around them, and all the food has holes in it. So if you watch that scene again, her
So
dad
they
is
just
banging all the food.
all the food. Like there's no food in that house that can be eaten because it's
No,
being used.
correct.
So, like that beginning scene should be no big thing because obviously, he gets it. He gets it. Do you think one last you started to answer this question, but one last thing is on its own merits without even having any references at all. If you had zero references, would this be funny? Or do you need the references for it to be funny?
You mean the whole movie?
Yeah. Like the movie itself. Like, do you need the references for this to be funny, or can it be funny on its own?
I think scenes of it can be funny on their own, but as a whole, it doesn't work if you don't know enough of the references.
Yeah, I think you need some source material. You don't have to have seen every single movie or known every detail, but you have to know the gist of or know of some of these movies to get it.
Got it. Or
I
live
think
during that time and just been immersed in pop culture. That's the thing. Like for me, like I didn't watch She's All That, but I know what it is. I
right.
know what they're trying to get to. So I get it. But if you have no connection with that at all, maybe you just don't. Like, oh, she just needed to take her glasses off. Why is that funny? What's the deal with that? But that's the funny part about it, because that's
The
all
funny
really that
part.
movie was, right?
The one scene that I forgot that my wife and I both cracked up laughing is every time that they show her painting, and then they show the painting and it's like a stick figure,
Yeah.
and then she's not a good artist at all.
That's my mom. You have her eyes.
Yeah.
I think
Or-
the one thing I would have pulled out is the where Jake punches Priscilla in the face. I think I think they could have taken that out. When he's all pissed off, he finds him in the motel towards the end,
Yeah.
and he punches the bag. He punches the what's his
Punched
name?
everything though.
But he punched her in the face. He probably shouldn't have done that.
I like the part where he goes to stick up for the little brother, and then
Yeah.
the little brother punches him, and then he beats the ever loving shit out of the little brother.
I think you have to take everything in this movie with a grain of salt, tongue in cheek, right? It's not, you just like spoofs of today, even shows like Rick and Morty and or Always Sunny to an extent. Like there's some awful stuff on that show, right? There's some stuff that nobody would ever do, but it's funny because of the satire, because of what they're spoofing. So I think it kind of is the same thing, but whatever. You have your opinions. But I just looking back on it, like I thoroughly enjoyed the movie. I thought it was fun. I thought there was some funny parts. I didn't think it was all funny, but I definitely think there were some really funny parts to it, and I probably appreciated it more because of my ties to that period of time. But I definitely will say that the performances by some of the characters, but also the music, really added to my enjoyment of it. So I thought this was a fun thing to kind of go back, take a look back on. I don't know. It sounds like you guys agree. And
Damn shit, not whack.
yeah, there it is. Well, I think that kind of that segues us right into the next thing, and maybe the final thing of the show is this week's ranking it. And for this week, we really spent a lot of time taking a look at all of the aspects of the movie, maybe not every single little nuance and piece. We talked about a lot, so now we're gonna have to rank things. So I think that instead of doing top fives, let's just call out our favorites in certain 4 different categories, let's say. And let's start with favorite scene first. Actually, let's go with 3 different categories here. So first, favorite scene, then we'll do, I'm not going to spoil it. Favorite scene first. Go. Wingman Steve.
I think it's got to be the prom song montage. I think that's probably the opening scene's really good. I mentioned I liked the Bring It On spoof, but I think that the prom song montage, which was written by Ben Folds, by the way.
Damn it, Steve, you stole mine.
He called on me first. Sorry.
That's exactly, yeah. That scene is the part that I thought the most rewatchable and funniest of the movie, because it kind of encompasses everything, kind of brings everything back around. But if I had to, I'd say my second favorite scene is the part where the dad comes in and says he is the perfect rebound girl, and it's his mom, and then his mom says, "Do you prefer top or bottom?" So yeah.
Forgot about that one.
Maybe the party scene. Maybe, I don't know what part of it, but maybe the Golden God, like all that party scene, I guess would be my favorite. Nothing really made me laugh out loud during this movie, so nothing really pops out of me like that. But I thought that was a well done scene, and I'm always up for party scenes no matter what. So
I love at the end of the scene, Priscilla comes up to Janie, who had just been in the pool.
That's it. That's the one.
She dumps the water on her, like, "Oh my God, look at you. Now you're all," and she starts crying and runs away, but she was already soaking wet.
Oh, yeah, I know what the best one was. It was the end of the movie, but it was the slow clap guy. And it was the slow clap guy, and he comes out and slow claps, and he gets punched in the face. Or the best friend gets punched in the face by the slow clap guy for doing the slow clap.
Right.
That was like, I knew that was in the movie, and it didn't necessarily make me laugh, but I just thought that was funny. So, all right, favorite song. Go ahead, movie Steve, you're first this time.
Well, I mean, if we're going by just pure song, it's got to be Goldfinger, because I love that song. But I will give, like I said, that System of a Down song, that Metro, was really good. Off the soundtrack. Or do you want me to pick the song that's used in the movie, like my favorite use of a song in the movie?
Yeah, anything on the soundtrack or in the movie, either way.
I mean, on the soundtrack, I would say my favorite song is probably the Goldfinger song, but I give a runner-up to the System of a Down song, and then I'll say the If You Leave by Good Charlotte, just because it goes well with the spoof movie aspect of it.
Nobody's mentioned "But Not Tonight" by Scott Weiland. Not a fan.
That's the worst song on the soundtrack. It's terrible.
Poor Scott Weiland. Okay, Wingman Steve.
Yeah, I think 99 Red Balloons, which was used in the football game, was really, really good. And also tying into what Steve just said about a song that kind of sounds like it belongs on a spoof, the end of the movie, Mest's I'll Melt With You, that like just that line and that pick scrape, really well used at the end of the movie.
Yeah, no, I mean, I would have picked 99 Red Balloons, but this is the second time this has been on a soundtrack. So I'm going to go with one that was a first or an original. And I think that, man, I'm torn. I gotta go. I think I gotta go If You Leave by Good Charlotte as my favorite. But I really, really like that I Melt With You as well. Mess does a really good job on this soundtrack. I think they had a couple songs on here that were, I mean, soundtrack wise, it was one, but I think they did another song on the movie. I could be wrong, but as I was kind of watching it on Amazon Prime, it flashes the music. If you press pause, it'll show you give you a little notes about what music is playing. And I swear I saw another Mess song that was in there as a cover. But the Good Charlotte one, the way they did it kind of live-ish, in the prom, that did it for me. So that's my number one. And so one more thing let's give this is tough because you got to think back, and I'm not even sure I can do this the right way, but what's your favorite quote or close to your favorite quote in the movie? Go back to Wingman Steve for your favorite quote.
Well, hopefully I don't steal movie Steve's. But I think that the best quote in the movie is I don't screw every pathetic guy who gives me a letter. ... I give them hand jobs. because he's just waiting. He gives her the letter. He's waiting, and he's like, hoping that. And he's like, oh, okay. I think that's really good.
Well, my favorite quote was the one that you said previously with the mother's eyes. It's my mother, you have her eyes. That made me bust out laughing. But I will say that the introduction to Catherine, where she's basically like, how come every time I tell any guy they can put it wherever they want, they always want to put it in my ass? And then the black guy goes, damn. I thought that was a good intro for her. So,
and for Malik.
Yeah.
It's not a quote, but and I'll come up with the quote, but I didn't say this. I really, really enjoyed the scene with that guy. What's that guy's name? The token, the guy.
His character's name is Malik. The guy's name is Dion Richmond.
Okay. Well, Malik, when he comes face to face with Ronald from Cruel Intentions at the party.
I'm the token black guy.
Because Ronald was like one of my favorite characters from that movie too, and the fact that he's in this just probably as the same character, but we never really say. That's really funny to me.
But what's funny though, Chris, is you're missing something, because that guy also was in Save the Last Dance with Julia, whatever, what's her name? Julia Stiles. And there's a deleted scene from that party scene where she gets drunk and dances, and she does a ballet number like Julia Stiles, and that Ronald guy is her like love interest in that movie, and he's like, I know you could do it, in the deleted scene.
So that's probably why he's in it then. Yeah. He's not in there as Ronald, he's in there as that character.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. Like, I don't know if I have a quote from the movie that really stands out to me. Maybe I didn't see it enough times to be able to quote anything. I'll tell you what, or I'll give you one. And it's a layup and probably a softball, and I thought Chris Evans did a terrible job. He either did a really terrible job or it was on purpose so bad. But when he did the I Don't Want Your Life from Varsity Blues, he delivered that so bad that again, maybe it was part of the joke, but it was laughable. So if you haven't seen this movie, listen to that part. You tell me if you think the same thing. If he did it on purpose, bravo. If he was just trying to spoof it and maybe sound kind of like it, he didn't really do a good job. So
there's a couple other good ones I want to read. I wrote down. There's a good one from Randy Quaid where he's talking to his daughter and he goes, I may not always be coherent or conscious, but I know when my little girl has a problem. I just love the fact that he calls out the fact that he doesn't know where the hell he is. And when the never been kissed old lady meets Catherine right before they do the kiss, Catherine says to her, she goes, not scoring any cock either? And she goes, cock? I've never even been kissed. That one's really good.
I like the one where he's telling her about how his family sponsors an artist every year, and it gives her the scholarship, and then he's like, and we just gave this one the one this year to like this Mexican girl, and she's really talented.
Mexican finger painter.
Yeah, that's what it was.
That has to be from a movie somewhere where that was the resolution that my family sponsors. It has to be. I don't know what movie that is, but I'd like to find that out. I'm not going to do it now. I'm done researching for the evening. But I think the best way, so I said we would do 5, then I shortened it to 4, then 3. But let's just do one more thing. Let's give a score. Let's rank what we think this movie is, or let's rate it, actually. This is a new segment called Rating It on High School Never Ends. This is one and done. But Wingman Steve, what's your 1 to 10? What do you rate this movie?
I rate this movie a 10. I think this is a great spoof movie.
10.
Yeah, 10. I love it.
There's no better.
It's rewatchable. It's funny. It evokes emotions from other, from your childhood and other fun movies, some good, some bad. this one, Robin Hood Men in Tights, Spaceballs, and Don't Be a Menace are like my go-to parody movies. And I don't know any other parody movie that parodies these, 90s rom-coms. So I'm giving it the top score.
You put this with Spaceballs.
Spaceballs is probably better. I'd give Spaceballs.
No, it's not probably.
Well.
It's definitely
better.
Yeah. So is Robin Hood Men in Tights.
Where are we?
This is good. It's a good spoof movie.
Movie Steve, what say you?
Well, first of all, you missed a perfect opportunity to go 10. It's 10. But anyway,
That's true.
Sorry.
I would say I gave it a 7. It's really funny. I laughed. I enjoyed it, and like I'm actually happy that I spent $3 to buy it on Blu or DVD. I'll watch it again. I liked it. I'll watch it again.
Give it like a 6.4. 6.4.
That might be
That's
the
it.
best rating you gave a movie back to when we did all the movies.
I think that the jokes are like the jokes could have been funnier, I guess, in the way that they like a lot of the jokes I think were so projected that they weren't funny to me. Like when I see it coming from 1,000 miles away, it has to be really funny for me to really be into it. And I just like I chuckled a couple times, but maybe this isn't necessarily my type of humor, I guess. I don't know. But that doesn't mean I didn't have fun with it. So I don't have to be rolling on the ground to enjoy a movie. So, for the nostalgia factor, a lot of nostalgia here, regardless of whether it's a spoof or not. I always get up for that. And it was fun to watch. I mean, that's just the bottom line. And I already kind of said that. So better than just average, but not necessarily worth 7 or above, in my opinion. There's much more better than this, including Spaceballs. So I will go with 6.4 for this movie.
Very nice. Well, this was fun. I liked going back and doing something silly, talking about a movie that also ties into pop punk. So I think it was some good folly. Jeff, fun, Steve?
Absolutely.
Always a blast and always a pleasure to have you on, Movie Steve. This was a really good idea to have you on the show.
Anytime you want any other movie discussion, I'm always in. I'm down for any discussion. I like to talk. You know me. Anytime.
What happens if we bring you on for something that's not movie related? Then what happens?
Well, you already did.
We did?
Pinkerton.
That's right. I guess we have been doing the show for like 4 years and some change. So I guess the stuff like that can happen in that period of time. Well, you did a great job with that. You're not just pigeonholed as Movie Steve sometimes, but when it is a movie, you are spot on as per usual. So thanks once again for coming on. Can't wait to have you back on the show to talk about something else, movie or not. And for all of you out there, hopefully you enjoyed this episode of February Folly, where we talked about the movie, not another teen movie, definitely a spoof. Steve, do we have some more follies in store for the people out there?
We have a few more follies up our sleeves.
Okay, we're not going to say what they are, right? We're going to keep that a secret.
Yes, my lips are sealed.
I'm gonna continue to say that for every episode until you crack and say something, because I know you want to. Do you
want me to give it away?
I don't.
Okay.
I'd rather it be a surprise. I like surprises, and I'm sure you guys out there do too. And you guys out there also like something else, and that's feedback for the show. Please do not hesitate to let us know what you think about this episode or any other episode you listened in the High School Never End catalog. We love to hear back from you, and the best way to do that is through our socials. We're on everything from the Instagram to the X. We're also on Facebook. Any of those ways you can reach out and tell us what you think. Also, if you have either Spotify or iTunes, leave us a review. Let us know what you think. If you really liked us on Apple, leave us a 5-star review. It helps the show. It makes us feel good about delivering this content. Actually, we're going to feel good about it anyway, but we just like to see those 5 stars out there because it makes us happy. Links to all of those things, including our socials, you can find at our hub. That's www.hsnepod.com. Check that out, and you'll be connected to tell us what you think.
That's right. And before we go, this episode's coming out right after Valentine's Day. So happy Valentine's Day out there. Grab the guy or the girl that you want to spend that special day with and and watch Not Another Teen Movie and think about the three of us talking about this silly, silly movie and the more folly that will come soon. So we'll be back next week with an all-new episode. Until then, keep on rocking your dad bods. Throw up your rock hands and blast the pop punk.
Hey, everybody. I am sitting down with two dear friends of mine. They are both men with three names, Mark Allen Heiliger and Chad Philip Peter. What's going on, guys?
Not too much. I'm really glad you pronounced my name correctly.
Did I? I nailed it. It's a tough one.
I get a lot of Highlanders and Heiligers.
Ooh, although admittedly, Highlander would not be too shabby.
You know, there can be only one.
In any case, I know you two because you are both working industry professionals. And of course, when I say industry, I mean film and television.
Yeah.
And you guys have a podcast on this very podcast network all about film
Called The Hell With This.
What makes The Hell With This different from every other movie podcast on the internet?
Well, we are a couple of working professionals in film and TV, so we use our film and TV powers to dissect each of the films that we watch.
And do you guys watch the entire movie on each episode?
No, nobody has time for that.
No.
We give you the trailer for the movie, gives you a chance to go watch the movie if you haven't seen it already. You come back and we finish the discussion afterwards.
And are these like mainstream big blockbuster movies that everybody's talking about?
No, sometimes it's movies you haven't heard of. It's either a movie that Mark or I have brought along to usually present to the other who hasn't seen it. But not always. Sometimes we just want to spread our love for a particular movie.
Well, that sounds fantastic. I share your love. How do people listen?
They can find us at thehellwiththis.com. Go to iTunes or Stitcher. You can find us anywhere podcasts are found.
It's Dragon Wagon.